So, you want to play some D&D. Well, you better go out and buy this big old book then, yeah? And read through all kind of 300 or 400 pages or whatever else is in there. Sure, you could do that, but there is another way. Any experienced dungeon master will be able to guide new players through the experience. You don't need to read this entire book. This book is actually designed more for helping you build a character to bring into this world. And I would suggest that's not the way you want to start playing D&D. When you first start playing, I personally believe the best way to get involved is to sign up with an experienced dungeon master and get them to show you the ropes. Get them to create a character. Characters can be pretty tricky to make. Having said that, there is 10-15 pages in this book that are worth their weight in gold. They do a really great job of setting expectations. So if you have no idea what Dungeons & Dragons is, but you think you might want to give it a go, those first pages are going to give you a pretty good idea whether or not you want to see it through. Those first few pages also explain a few of the core concepts around playing Dungeons & Dragons and just playing tabletop role-playing games in general, so that your first session of D&D isn't in completely unfamiliar territory. And in this video, I'm going to dive through those steps. So the first thing you need to know about Dungeons & Dragons, and probably about 99% of other tabletop role-playing games that are out there, is that it's a collaborative storytelling experience. Dungeons & Dragons contains two key roles, the player role and the dungeon master role. The player builds a character, and they role-play as that character, experiencing the world that you're playing in and making decisions about what their character does in the situations that are thrown at them. The other role is the dungeon master. The dungeon master is not the rules guru. The dungeon master is not the only storyteller. The dungeon master is there to prepare adventures for the playing group and to facilitate the story. A good dungeon master will use their imagination as well as their understanding of the rules of the game to determine what happens based on the character's choices. And how this works during play is that the dungeon master will describe a scene and then push it to the players to make decisions about what their characters do in that scene. Do they investigate the ceremonial urns that are placed around the room? Do they put the crystal into the socket, which is so obviously meant for them? Or do they take a deeper look at these weird stone statues that are standing guarding the room? So the players will describe the actions that they want their characters to take in that moment. And that's where the role play comes in. And then it's up to the dungeon master to use their knowledge of the rules and their knowledge of the story to determine what happens. What is the outcome of the character's actions? Now, D&D and other tabletop role-playing games are great for just a one-off little 2 to 4 hour adventure, similar to what you might do on a board game night. But where tabletop role-playing games really thrives is when you combine those sessions into an adventure that maybe spans 3, 4, 5 different sessions, each session building up to a climax in that final session. A reveal, you find the vault full of hidden treasures, you discover that the lord of the house is a vampire and he wants to try and kill everyone. You know, the slow burn that builds up to those moments can be incredible. And then take that one step further, the adventures can be combined together into a campaign. Some people play campaigns for hundreds of sessions. Some campaigns never end. I personally like to make sure my campaigns have a definitive ending point. How and when the characters get there, that's completely up to the players. So if this kind of thing sounds like fun to you, there are a whole sea of experienced professional dungeon masters that you can find on startplaying.games. Myself included, I run games on there. There'll be a link down in the description below to head over and check out my upcoming games. And if you want to learn a little bit more about Dungeons & Dragons, this series will talk you through things like the dice in Dungeons & Dragons, ability checks, saving throws, how combat works, what kind of actions you can take, a little bit about role playing and skills that you can use to improve your role playing, and just how to go about playing this game. So if you think you'll get benefit out of that, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tick that little bell thing so that you get notified when new videos come out. I'm Cade, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.